You know how it is. You try to follow all the spiritual practices that everyone swears by. You get up early to visualize your goals, you jot down your intentions in a journal, and you even speak those positive affirmations to yourself in the mirror. Every day, you sit down for meditation, aligning with your highest self. You consciously raise your vibration, reminding yourself to trust the process. You're putting in the work. But then, when you actually take a step back and look at your life, something just doesn't feel right. The months go by, and it's like the same feelings keep coming back. You set new goals, but the outcomes always seem to be the same. You can't help but notice that the connections you're making still seem to reflect the toxic patterns you're desperately trying to break free from. And your finances? It's like they're stuck on an endless reset loop. No matter how hard you try, your emotional state just keeps swinging back and forth, feeling hopeful one minute, frustrated the next. And then, deep down, a question starts echoing louder every day. What's going wrong? Why does it feel like I'm stuck in a loop, living the same life over and over again? Now, here's the truth, and it might be a little shocking. The problem isn't you. It's not about your character. It's not that you're lacking in value, intelligence, or work ethic. It's not even about how much energy you pour into things. The real issue is something deeper, your energetic broadcast. See, the quantum universe doesn't care about how much effort you put in. It doesn't respond to how badly you want something, how intense your visualizations are, or how much energy you put into maintaining a positive mindset. What it responds to is the frequency you're sending out, whether you're aware of it or not. The universe isn't measuring how much energy you put into achieving your goals. It mirrors the frequency you're consistently putting out, deep down, on a subconscious level. That's the key. How you feel when no one's watching, when you're not actively trying to manifest or create something, when you're just being. And here's the catch. You're not stuck because you're bad at manifesting or creating. You're stuck because you're still resonating at the same frequency as the version of you that you've already outgrown. As long as that old energetic pattern is still hanging around, the universe is going to keep reflecting it back to you, perfectly and relentlessly. Not because it's trying to punish you, but because it's working in perfect harmony. The quantum field is neutral. It simply mirrors whatever vibration you're sending out. It doesn't judge your dreams as good or bad. It doesn't care if your dreams are worthy or unworthy. It only reflects the energetic reality you consistently hold about yourself and your life. That's why, no matter how many mood boards you make or vision boards you update, no matter how many visualizations you do or how many self-help books you read, your life can still feel like it's stuck in the same loop. It's not because of you. It's just how the energetic law works. There's this principle that you probably weren't taught in school. It's called the principle of energetic recreation. Your unconscious mind wants to recreate whatever feels familiar. Not because it's the best thing for your growth, but because it's what's known. And, let's be honest, what's safe. The quantum field picks up on this and says, okay, this is your normal. This is what feels predictable and secure to you. And it strengthens that reality. The universe just responds to this repeated signal, and so the cycle continues. You might try new things, new habits, new actions, fresh routines. But if your energetic foundation hasn't shifted, you're still stuck in the same loop. It's like repeating prosperity affirmations 1,000 times a day. But if your nervous system is still programmed for limitation, The quantum field won't pick up on abundance. It'll just see scarcity. What a lot of people miss is that the field isn't working against them. It's actually working perfectly in alignment with their energy. The issue isn't that the universe isn't listening to your wishes. It's simply reflecting your energetic broadcast, down to the last detail. And that's not a sign that something's wrong with you. It's not proof that you're broken or failing. It's just the universe reflecting what's true for you at an energetic level. This is the foundation of what I like to call quantum repetition. Even if you're doing everything right, if you're still sending out the same frequency, whether consciously or unconsciously, the field will respond to that. Your actions, thoughts, and words might change, but if your core energetic signature doesn't shift, your results won't either. You could be doing everything you can to change, but if the underlying energy doesn't change, the universe will keep reflecting the same reality back to you. And here's where it gets tricky. Most people don't realize that the reason they're stuck in repeating cycles is because they're unconsciously broadcasting the same frequency as the version of themselves they've already outgrown. You might change your actions, adopt new habits, or try different approaches, but if your nervous system is still conditioned for limitation or scarcity, the quantum field won't reflect abundance. It'll reflect scarcity. This repeating pattern isn't a sign that you're broken, unworthy, or incapable of creating something new. It's just an energetic mirror showing you what you're truly broadcasting. So, what if, instead of piling on more tools, techniques, and practices, you focused on dissolving the outdated frequencies still running in your system? What if the real work wasn't about adding more to your plate, but about letting go of what no longer serves you? Because here's the hard truth. You can't override your energetic foundation with affirmations alone. You can't manifest something new if you're still attached to the emotional conditioning and vibrational patterns of your old self. The cycle keeps repeating because you're still broadcasting the same energetic signature. You can say all the positive things you want, but underneath, that same anxiety or insecurity is still calling the shots. You can try all kinds of different actions, but if your underlying frequency hasn't changed, the field will pick up on that. It'll recognize that you're still operating from a place of fear, doubt, or anxiety. And so, it will reflect those same patterns. The field doesn't judge or discriminate. It just mirrors what you are, not what you say or want. And that's the essence of quantum repetition. The field isn't blocking your desires or goals. It's simply reflecting your energetic identity, the one you consistently send out. Your true identity isn't shaped by what you say you are. It's defined by your consistent frequency, what you expect, what you accept, and what you're willing to settle for on a day-to-day basis. If you want to break free from this endless loop and stop recreating the same reality, you've got to stop broadcasting the same frequency. That means becoming aware of what you've been repeating at a deep, unconscious level, emotionally, mentally, and vibrationally. Recognizing and breaking that repetitive pattern is where the magic begins. Only then can you start manifesting something new. Until you break this unconscious loop, you're not actually manifesting a new reality. You're just redecorating your current one with better words, fancier tools, or newer techniques. But once you become aware of that old pattern, that's when true transformation can happen. Because once you become aware, you can begin to step beyond it. This is where quantum reality jumping comes in. Quantum reality jumping isn't about forcing a new reality into existence. It's about embodying a new frequency so completely that the matching reality naturally begins to form around you. In the next section, we'll explore exactly how your unconscious mind creates energetic echoes that keep you stuck in the same cycle. You'll also understand why your conscious mind often resists change, even when your soul is screaming for transformation, and discover the missing piece for creating a new reality. Stay tuned. Now, let's dive deeper into why your energy has been cycling in these old patterns and why the process of transformation feels so challenging. Most people don't realize that it's not just about what they're consciously trying to manifest. What they don't see is that their unconscious mind has been holding on to energy patterns for years. Patterns that create an energetic blueprint for their reality. Your nervous system plays a massive role in keeping that pattern alive, continuing to send out the same energy signal even when you're focused on making changes. To really get this, let's start with a fundamental truth. Your unconscious mind wasn't designed to create happiness or success. It was designed to maintain safety. The problem is, safety doesn't always equal fulfillment. It doesn't mean growth. It just means predictability. Your unconscious mind stores all the experiences, emotional wounds, and beliefs it considers safe because they're familiar. These form what researchers call neural highways, automatic thought patterns, emotions, and behaviors that run in the background of your life. Your nervous system is the keeper of these neural highways. These patterns shape your relationship with everything: love, money, opportunities, stress, failure, rejection. Your body is continuously broadcasting this energy, whether you're aware of it or not. It's like a radio transmitter constantly sending out a signal. But here's the kicker. The quantum field doesn't care about what your conscious mind is trying to do. It's responding to that unconscious blueprint. So when you try to manifest a new reality, you're still working from the same old unconscious programming that created your current situation. It's like trying to change your reality while your internal software is still running an outdated program. Your thoughts and desires may shift, but if your nervous system still holds on to the old emotional reactions, your reality won't shift much. That's why transformation feels so hard. You can say all the right things, perform all the right actions, and visualize your new reality every day. But until your nervous system gets on board, nothing substantial is going to change. Your body, the unconscious mind in physical form, keeps emitting the frequency of your past reality, and the quantum field simply mirrors that frequency. This explains why, no matter how much you focus on changing your thoughts, you can still end up attracting the same outcomes. It's like trying to drive a car forward, but the engine's stuck in reverse. The field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to the energy you're constantly transmitting. This is a huge part of why people get frustrated with manifestation. They're working on the surface, but the deep, unconscious programming remains unchanged. So, what can you do to shift this? It starts with understanding how your unconscious mind, nervous system, and the quantum field all work together to keep things the same. But before we dive into solutions, let's quickly take a look at quantum physics. In quantum theory, reality exists as a sea of infinite possibilities. These possibilities stay in a state of potential until you observe them, until your attention and intention focus on a specific outcome. Those possibilities remain just that, probabilities. That's where coherence comes in. Coherence is about alignment. When your mind, body, and emotions are aligned, your energy becomes coherent. And when your energy is coherent, it can tune into the reality you desire. But without coherence, your signal becomes scattered. Imagine tuning a radio. If the signal is weak or distorted, you get static. But when the signal is clear, the channel comes in perfectly. If you're trying to tune into a new frequency, but your receiver, your consciousness, isn't aligned with it, you're just going to get a mix of signals. This is why sometimes you make progress, and other times you fall back. The field isn't confused. It's just responding to the mixed signal you're sending out. The quantum field doesn't care whether you're sending out positive or negative energy. It only cares about the consistency and intensity of that energy. For example, if you're afraid of being stuck, your energy is broadcasting the feeling of being stuck. If you're desperately trying to escape your current reality, the universe interprets that as a command to keep you stuck in it. The stronger your resistance, the more the field responds by feeding you more of what you're resisting. The real challenge is when you're working hard to change, but your unconscious patterns are still broadcasting the old frequency. This is where most people hit obstacles. They don't realize that up to 95% of their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are unconscious. This means that only 5% of your energy is actively creating your new reality, while the remaining 95% is reinforcing the old one. No matter how much you try to maintain a positive mindset, your unconscious mind is still sending out the signal from your past. So, you might say positive things, but your internal energy is still trapped in old patterns of fear, doubt, and limitation. This is why, despite your best efforts, you keep attracting the same relationship issues, financial struggles, or health problems. Your body, your nervous system, remains tied to the old frequency. But here's the good news. Once you understand this, you can start doing something about it. You have the power to interrupt the unconscious programming. The key is to become aware of the pattern. It's all about recognizing when you're slipping back into the old frequency and catching yourself before you dive in completely. And once you break that unconscious loop, you can start creating from a new higher frequency. You've got to realize that this process isn't about forcing change. It's about allowing it. The quantum field doesn't respond to your mental effort. It responds to your energetic alignment. So, you don't need to push harder. You need to align deeper. And the deeper you align with the frequency of your future self, the more the field will start to reflect that back to you. This is where the magic happens. When you stop fighting against your old self, when you stop resisting your current reality and start embodying the new energy you want to manifest, the shift starts to occur. But it doesn't always happen immediately. It often starts with small, subtle shifts, tiny moments where you choose to feel differently or act differently. But those small moments add up, and over time, bigger, more noticeable changes start to appear. The quantum field isn't linear. It doesn't care about your timeline. It responds to your alignment. And if you can stay grounded in the energy of your desired reality, even when there's no external evidence of it yet, you'll begin to pull that reality closer and closer until it fully manifests. The process of quantum reality jumping requires a deep level of trust. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and trust in the quantum field. Even when you don't see immediate results, even when things feel uncertain, you've got to stay aligned. This is the core of the work, not forcing a change, but allowing your energy to shift and stabilize into the frequency of your future self. The more you trust in this process, the more you'll begin to see subtle shifts in your reality. These shifts might not always be grand or immediate. In fact, they often show up in the form of synchronicities, small opportunities, and moments of clarity. You might begin to notice that the people you meet, the conversations you have, or the experiences you encounter are subtly aligned with the new frequency you're embodying. These aren't just random coincidences. They're signs that the quantum field is responding to your new energetic signal. The quantum field is incredibly intelligent. It doesn't operate in a chaotic or random way. It works in harmony with your energy. When you start to align with your future self, the field reorganizes itself to match your new frequency. But keep in mind, this process isn't about rushing or demanding immediate results. It's about becoming a vibrational match for the life you want. The field will respond when you're ready to receive it, and that might take time. This brings us to another important concept, the void phase. This is something that's rarely discussed, but it's a crucial part of the quantum reality jumping process. The void phase happens when your old reality begins to dissolve, but the new one hasn't fully manifested yet. It can feel uncomfortable, almost like being suspended in limbo, unsure of who you are or what's next. This phase is often misunderstood as a sign that nothing is working, but in reality, it's a sign that you're on the edge of a major transformation. The void is where infinite possibilities exist before they collapse into a specific reality. If you can embrace this space of uncertainty without panicking or trying to force an outcome, you'll begin to feel the creative potential of this moment. It's in this phase where you get to choose your new frequency without the weight of old patterns holding you back. If you can stay grounded and aligned during this time, the quantum field will begin to fill the void with the new reality you're calling in. So, how do you navigate this space? First, you need to get comfortable with discomfort. The void phase isn't about having all the answers or knowing exactly how things will unfold. It's about maintaining trust in the process. Your ego will try to convince you that nothing is happening, that you should give up or return to what feels familiar. But if you can stay present and not react to the resistance, you'll move through this phase with grace. Another essential concept to understand is the importance of energetic boundaries. As you start embodying a new frequency, you may find that your environment and the people around you begin to change. This is a natural part of the process. Some people and situations won't resonate with the new frequency you're holding. You might feel the need to set boundaries to protect your energy and prevent yourself from being pulled back into old patterns. Setting energetic boundaries isn't about cutting people out of your life dramatically, but about being mindful of the energy you allow into your space. You may need to distance yourself from certain conversations or environments that drain you. Setting these boundaries is a form of self-respect and self-preservation. By doing so, you ensure that you're not sabotaging your own frequency by being around energies that aren't in alignment with your new reality. And here's where things get interesting. Reverse synchronicities. This is something many people don't realize, but it's incredibly important. Reverse synchronicities happen when everything seems to go wrong, when obstacles appear everywhere and it feels like the universe is working against you. You might feel like you're hitting brick walls and nothing is moving forward. But guess what? This doesn't mean you're off track. In fact, these reverse synchronicities are often the final resistance of your old reality trying to keep you in your comfort zone. When you experience reverse synchronicities, it's often a sign that you're on the verge of a major breakthrough. The field is responding to your new frequency, and the old reality is resisting the change. This is a critical moment in the process of quantum reality jumping. It's a test. Will you give up and revert to your old ways, or will you stay grounded in your new frequency, trusting that the breakthrough is just around the corner? The key to navigating this phase is to stop looking for immediate proof that things are changing. When you're desperate for evidence, you're broadcasting a signal of lack and impatience. But when you let go of the need for proof and embrace the uncertainty, you're creating the space for your new reality to form. The field responds to this, and that's when the magic starts to happen. One of the most powerful things you can do during this time is to release the grip of urgency. The quantum field operates beyond time. When you're rushing or frantic, you're sending out a signal of lack and separation. But when you slow down and breathe, you create space for your desired reality to collapse into form. Remember, the quantum field isn't responding to your urgency. It's responding to your coherence, and this is where you can really make a shift. Stop demanding proof. This is one of the most powerful practices in quantum reality jumping. When you stop looking for external validation of your internal work, you free up your energy. You stop feeding the cycle of doubt and impatience, and you start anchoring into the truth that your reality is already shifting, even if you can't see it yet. So, how do you actually make the jump? The answer is simple, but not always easy. You need to stop trying to force a new reality into existence and start tuning in to the reality you desire. In quantum terms, the version of you who already exists in your desired reality is vibrating at a specific frequency. The key is to stabilize into that frequency. To do this, you need to embody your future self right now, not in some distant time in the future, but right now. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about reconnecting with the essence of who you really are beneath all the fear, doubt, and conditioning. It's about embodying the emotional state of the version of you who has already created the life you desire. This is where your body plays a critical role. Your nervous system has to learn to feel safe with these new emotions. Emotions like peace, joy, abundance, and love. Instead of thinking your way into your future self, you need to feel your way into it. Close your eyes and connect with the version of you who already lives in that reality. What do they feel like? How do they carry themselves? What emotions are they in alignment with? Begin to feel those emotions in your body, slowly and gently. By doing this, you begin to train your nervous system to feel safe with these new emotions. And this is how you start shifting your energy and your reality. The key to quantum reality jumping is conscious observation. This means noticing the old patterns without getting caught up in them. When fear or doubt arises, instead of reacting to it, you pause, you breathe, you observe it. You ask yourself, is this coming from my old self or my new self? In that moment of observation, you create the space for a new frequency to emerge. As you continue to embody the frequency of your future self, the quantum field will begin to reflect that energy back to you. The more you practice this, the more you'll notice subtle shifts in your reality. You may start seeing more synchronicities, attracting different people, or experiencing new opportunities. These are signs that your energy is aligning with the reality you're calling in. So, let me ask you, are you ready to stop feeding the old cycle and start embodying the frequency of your future self? Are you willing to trust the process, even when it doesn't look like anything is changing on the outside? Because that's the moment when everything shifts. The jump begins when you stop forcing and start aligning. and the quantum field will have no choice but to respond.